So you have a lead magnet and you talk about it in your content, but there's one problem, and that is nobody is actually taking you up on your lead magnet. What's wrong? What could be happening? We're gonna talk about that in this video. Just the other day, I had a call with a coaching client, and she is starting her online business. This may be like your situation. And she had built a lead magnet and was very excited to have launched it to her audience. But there was just one problem, and that is literally no one took her up on it. Okay, maybe like a handful of people, but she has a big audience, like almost 25,000 people following her on Instagram, and yet this lead magnet did not work. She was very frustrated, so she said, "What's happening?" And I looked into it and I found something that I've never really encountered before. A mistake that she was making that you might be making too, and that if you're making this mistake, it doesn't mean you're bad at business, it just means that you need to fix this one mistake and it will make all the difference. So what was the mistake she was making? It was this: her lead magnet didn't align with the audience and the niche that she had built on Instagram. That's it. She had one niche and one audience and one focus on Instagram that was working really well and built a massive audience. And she decided she wanted to start a business in a different niche. So in her mind, she was thinking, I have this audience over here on Instagram that's really big, that know me, like me, and trust me. So I can appeal to that audience and I can say, hey, I'm starting this thing over here. Obviously, you want to know about it. Grab this free resource and boom, I'll have all these people on my email list. And she's telling me this and I'm listening to it and I'm looking at her Instagram and I'm going, this is a great Instagram account. Obviously, you've done very well growing a large audience, but it's still not gonna work. And it's not gonna work because your lead magnet, which is about this topic over here, completely separate, is very different than your Instagram account, which is about this other topic. I told her a story that I want to tell you that helped me frame the mistake that she was making and also make it personal so she didn't feel like I was attacking her. When I started years ago building Preaching Donkey, my online business that helps coach preachers on their communication, I grew it to a certain point and decided that I wanted to start this brand, my personal brand, Sebring, which is my name. And I thought, you know what? All these preachers, they're probably going to want to write books and publish books, and they're probably going to want to have an online business and build platforms and have side hustles. This is gonna be awesome. There's gonna be so much crossover between that audience and this audience. And I'm looking at these thousands of people that subscribe to my email list on Preaching Donkey, and I'm going, this is awesome. I already have an audience.
This is awesome.
All I gotta do is tell them the merits of this platform and they'll come over. So I went to them and I said, hey, guess what? I know that for years I've been talking to you about preaching and how to write sermons and deliver sermons and how to lead your church and all this stuff. But guess what? I'm starting another thing where I'm going to be talking about how to write books, self-publish books, because I talked a lot about that back in the early days of this brand. And I'm going to talk about online business and side hustles and making money online. Don't you want to be a part of that? Aren't you excited? Grab this free resource. And I told them about my lead magnet and it was crickets. Like literally none of them wanted to come over here. Like maybe a handful. I had the exact same experience that she had. I had an audience that I had built that knew me, liked me, and trusted me for one reason, because I helped them with their preaching. They weren't interested in learning about business from me. And certainly some people follow me on both platforms. They follow me over there at Preaching Donkey and they follow me here at Sebring. But I was assuming way too much to think that a lot of people would follow me over. And I think she did the exact same thing. She has a great account on Instagram in a wonderful niche that she's really done well in. And she's trying to start something different and that audience is just not going to cross over. So the mistake that she made and the mistake that I made is to assume that if you've built an audience, they will follow you wherever you go. And that's not always the case. So what are the options here? What can you do? Well, what I told her, what I advised her to do was to focus on that Instagram account and offer it products based on its niche. So that group of 24,000 people that follow her on Instagram, that know her, like her, and trust her because of that content, are probably going to be willing to purchase from her when she delivers products to them. And in her case, it's going to end up being books. That's awesome. And I encouraged her to do that. And then in this other niche where she had this lead magnet that she was trying to kind of inflict on these people and say, hey, come over here, and it's not working, go build another audience just for those people and that audience that want that content in that niche will gather. Essentially, that's what I had to do at Preaching Donkey. I had to say, Preaching Donkey is its own thing, and I'm still running that, and I'm still doing all the things for it, content, courses, email list, email marketing, funnels, the whole thing. But I gotta go over and build an entirely separate thing here at Lane Sebring with a new email list, a new set of products, a new funnel, a new everything, and it's gotta be two completely separate things. And if people wanna join both, great. If they wanna join one and not the other, great. If they don't want either one of them, great, whatever. But the point is they have to be two separate things. So that's the biggest thing I would say regarding that problem. You can't assume there's gonna be crossover. Just double down on the audience you've built. And if you no longer are interested in that niche, you can ditch it all together and go build something else, or you can just let it be what it is, offer those people what's gonna serve them well and what they're gonna respond to, and then go over there and build the thing that you really wanna build, have both of them for a while, sell one, get rid of one, grow both at the same time, whatever you wanna do, but just make sure that it's in line with the niche. Now, when it comes to lead magnets, I always like to say this because lead magnets really only have to fulfill two things. They have to have a compelling promise and deliver a quick win. So what do I mean by compelling promise? It just means that when you talk about the lead magnet, right? If you're on your YouTube video, if you're in your Instagram reel and you say, hey, link in my bio, you can get XYZ free guide. You can attend XYZ free workshop. You can get my PDF, my checklist. When you talk about it, it needs to have a compelling promise. It needs to sound awesome. It's what I'm trying to say.
This is gonna be awesome!
It needs to have something where when people hear you talking about it, they go, oh, I gotta have that. That sounds awesome. Because the thing is, even though it's free, it's not actually free. People have to give you their email address in order to get that thing. So there is an exchange that happens. So you have to position it in a way that is attractive. And I like to focus on what I actually call the lead magnet. Like, what is it called? And that title needs to be compelling. For example, my lead magnet on this brand, to go super meta, is called the Super Simple Guide to Your First $500 Online. You can get that at lanesebring.com/supersimple, by the way. There's my lead magnet, right? You can go check it out, see what it's like. But the point of the title of that lead magnet is to have that compelling promise built into the title. So there's a couple things going on. One, it's super simple, right? So it's not going to be this big, complicated mess. It's not an entire course. It's simple. And it's a guide, right? Super simple guide. The word guide is one that I really like because what I want to do is I want the person who's listening to me talk about this resource, hear me say, I'm going to guide you. This PDF, this guide is going to take you from where you are to where you want to go, or one step closer to where you want to go. That's really, really important. So it's simple and it's a guide and it will help you make your first $500. Super attainable. $500 is not a lot of money, but if you've made no money online yet, $500 is a lot. And if it's your first $500, that also implies that there's gonna be more. You know, your second, your third, your fifth $500. So it's simple, it's a guide, and it's to your first $500, the first of many. That guide is at lanesebring.com/supersimple. Over at Preaching Donkey, my lead magnet there is called the 21-day guide to creating killer sermons. It has a similar approach. It's 21 days, so it's attainable. In 3 weeks, I'm gonna walk you through this guide. So I'm taking you on a journey, 21-day guide to creating killer sermons. So creating is intentional there. I don't say writing, I don't say preparing, even though those are common words to use when you're talking about sermon development. I actually use the word creating because I want to kind of invoke this idea of we're gonna do something great. Like we're gonna create something. We're gonna build something that maybe we've never built before. And then killer is just part of my brand over at Preaching Donkey. The book is called Preaching Killer Sermons. The course is called Killer Sermons Academy. So killer is a big part of the branding over at Preaching Donkey. So 21-day guide to creating killer sermons. It's got it all in there. It's got a compelling promise. Make sure that your lead magnet has a compelling promise in the title. The second thing it has to do is it has to deliver a quick win. What I mean by this is that when someone downloads your lead magnet and puts it into use, it needs to immediately deliver. They need to be able to put something into practice instantaneously and get results. When I say instantaneously, I don't mean like that second, but I do mean within days or maybe within a couple of weeks, they implement something and it's useful to them. The reason why is because the point of that lead magnet is to get them on your email list. It just has to be enough where it's a compelling promise that's interesting. And as long as you deliver on that promise with a quick win, then it's done its job. What it's done is it's created even more of a know, like, and trust. They know you, they like you, they trust you. Because man, you gave me a compelling promise. I took you up on it. I did what it said to do. Man, and it worked. This is great. So now I'm on your email list, and when you send me more value through your email list, and eventually you offer me your paid products like your courses, your coaching, your consulting, whatever you offer, now all of a sudden I'm very interested because you already promised and delivered on that promise with a quick win in exchange for my email. Everything went smoothly. You didn't try to trick me. You didn't try to scam me. I'm listening. When you offer something, I'm listening. That's what you want. Compelling promise, quick win, and make sure that lead magnet is in line with your niche. Now, when we're talking about niches or niches, we are talking about the very beginning steps of building a business, like starting your online business. And so in this playlist, I want to help you do just that. This is a playlist where we're talking about starting your online business. We'll talk about niches and everything else. So click right there and I'll see you in that playlist, and we'll talk about how to start your online business.